Greetings, Afterlifers, and welcome to another episode of the podcast. And today we'll be talking about Silent Hill F. Boy. Okay, so for disclaimer, because I know everyone's going to be typing in the comment section saying that, hey, you haven't really finished Silent Hill F, and I'm like, yeah. So, on stream, I did talk about the plans for that, and the same thing with Eternal Darkness. But the official plan is we're gonna continue this. We're gonna go back to those games next year, just because we have too many games to get through this year, and because of my retail job, and just time is not on my side at the moment. So I really want to get in as many games as I possibly can before next year hits. But yes, so Silent Hill F. What are my thoughts about it? So rather than giving this the official review, I would rather give this a first impressions type of thing, because I have to really play through the game again just to kind of experience like the whole complete picture, because, well, we're gonna talk about spoiler alert for those who are, who are listening in. If you are wanting to just to know what the score, do I recommend, do I not recommend it? I recommend it regardless of my feelings on the combat system. But with that said, the combat system might be a turn away for a lot of people. But anyways, so I digress. We've been going through Silent Hill. I mean, we played Silent Hill 1, Silent Hill 2, Silent Hill 2 Remake, Silent Hill 3. We recently completed Silent Hill 4, so the road to Silent Hill F was open. I didn't even know Silent Hill F was a thing until I saw it on the socials, and I was like, oh shit, they're making another Silent Hill game. Okay. It's not in Silent Hill, so okay, we're taking the Silent Hill 4 the room approach. But instead of like actually referencing Silent Hill in the game, this is a completely different location. We play as a Japanese female student by the name of Hinako. For all intents and purposes, I'm not gonna give away the last name and whatever, because there's a lot. I'm treading very carefully not to talk about story spoilers, because this game is fresh out of the oven still, and it's still getting updates and fixes and whatnot, and we have to yet to see what's gonna happen later down the line with this game. But yes, you play as a Japanese student, female student by the name of Hinako, and her town gets enveloped by the haunting call of Silent Hill. And I've seen a lot of people, and apparently this is being kind of said, I haven't really seen it, but apparently a lot of people are saying that this isn't a Silent Hill game. It's only Silent Hill in name. And to that, no, this is a Silent Hill game. This is an absolute Silent Hill game. It's not, it doesn't have to be about the town every single goddamn time, okay? There's no cult. It's really, I have to yet see a weird take on Silent Hill F, because the only things I've been seeing is this game is great with everything but the combat, or it's the story was good, the combat was okay, it was good, but we're gonna get into it. Silent Hill is all about the psychological horror. Really big emphasis on psychological horror. I'm not a psychiatrist. I'm not a psychologist, expert analyst. There are better people for that, and I'm assuming there are gonna be lots of videos on this game for many months to come, just to dissect every little nook and cram of the story and the characters and the writing, the drive of these characters. But yeah, so the gameplay. What are my thoughts on the gameplay? So, we got the announcement. Okay, we can't wait to see some footage, some test footage, some a presentation from the devs and everything, and then we get that presentation, and people noticed that the enemies were spongy, that the character was moving like a Souls-like character, and a lot of people were a little worried that this game was emphasis on Souls-like combat, which is funny because this game has a difficulty system. And it's like, okay, so so do I think this game is Souls-like? Do I, in my opinion, in my OPINION, I think I spelled that wrong, but basically my opinion, do I think this game is Souls-like? And the answer is no. It's not true Souls-like. I think the best description to give it is a mimic. It's a mimic Souls-like. It tries to mimic Soulsborne and Souls-like mechanics, by heavy emphasis on the parry counter system that has been seen in the Souls-like Soulsborne genre, but it's not true Souls-like. You don't go to the shrine and enemies respawn. Okay, you don't have to constantly. Well, I should say you kind of have to level up. There is kind of an upgrade system and talisman usage, and you know the best way I can give the best description I can give is that it skirts around the idea of it being Souls-like. You can debate about it in the comments, you can talk about it in the comments, but in my opinion, I think it's not Souls-like. It mimics it. It trolls you into thinking it's Souls-like with all these things that would look like it's in the Souls-like genre, but you know, it's gonna be a big contention point. It's gonna be a big contention point because this game does have weapon durability, and there's no god mode steel pipe weapon that you can use from first frame to last frame. Which I said this on stream. I'm gonna say it here. I will not be surprised if there are modders out there who are going to mod that into this game so that, you know, it stays true to, you know, and it's actually very surprising that story mode actually had the same difficulty as if it was if you were playing it like normally, you know. In Silent Hill 4, I didn't have a problem. In fact, Silent Hill 4's combat is the best example because there was no difficulty in Silent Hill 4. It kind of uses the same tricks there, you know, the stamina system. Some of the weapons were breakable, and you have this weapon that doesn't break. But you know, yeah, that was about it. that was all my opinion on the combat. I was like, okay, it's great. I mean, I had other issues with Silent Hill 4, but you can listen to that podcast episode and, you know, get my opinion on it. So when they basically took that and they said, let's make it, let's redeem ourselves. Now, I haven't played Origins, Downpour, Homecoming. I don't know what the combat is in those games, so don't ask me. It's like, oh, you need to play these games to get an idea of what the combat was like. Again, I don't know. I don't know what it looks like. But there is weapon durability here. And you kind of have to force yourself to a fight or flight situation. And again, you can say it in the comments. Again, this is all my opinion. This is from my perspective. But yes, there are ways you can avoid combat, but there are moments where you actually have to engage in combat. And 9 times out of 10, you're gonna find your weapons being so you're gonna lose more weapons than healing items, because of the fact that these enemies are so damn spongy. And apparently the only real, and we tested this out on the finale, but it seemed like when you use the right trigger, right R2 button, whatever button it is for like the counter or the parry, whatever you want to call it, it seems that the weapon durability doesn't go down a whole lot, but when you do it normally, the weapon durability goes from 100 to 75 to 65. It's this weird little breakdown of the weapon, and it's just like, well, what the heck? And I do love that little detail that the weapons do break over time and whatnot, and Hinako tells you like, oh my god, the weapon's gonna break on me. And also the game does a dick move by saying, oh yeah, you don't have a god mode weapon here, but you have a god mode weapons in the dream world, you know. Which is, and new game plus isn't off of this, by the way. And I say that because when we beat it, it didn't really tell me that there was going to be a god mode weapon if I decided to go back through this game again. So, maybe there is, maybe there isn't. I don't know. I haven't played New Game Plus, but, you know. So, you know, and this is where I'm going to say it. And I know people are going to say, please, God, don't say it. I'm going to say it. This game ended up 360ing itself on the combat. It is hilarious that, you know, it's a reverse. It's exactly like Silent Hill 4. So in the Silent Hill 4 podcast review, you can go. But the TLDR is basically, they got the tone, the aesthetic, they got everything right but the gameplay part. They got everything right but the gameplay part. Now, you may say that the gameplay was also right, but again, not many people are going to be on board with the combat here. People are going to have issues with the combat. People are going to take one good hard long look and say, that is Souls-like. And people are going to say, no, it isn't. In fact, if I go to the Steam store right now, and I know people are going to say, don't rely on the tags, just rely on developers' word of mouth, I can tell you there's probably going to be a Souls-like tag on it. If it isn't, oh yeah, Souls-like is there. Souls-like is a tag. Yeah, Souls-like is a tag. So, again, people are going to have issues with the combat here. Because the game wants you to be patient, which is fine, I guess. But when they keep throwing enemies at you, you would want that unbreakable steel pipe axe weapon that other Silent Hill games have, you know? There's a limited inventory space. You have to find inventory bags across the throughout your journey into this hellscape. Same thing with so the upgrading system. The only way you can upgrade your stamina, your sanity. Yes, there's a sanity there's a sanity system in here. And to equip more charms, you need to find these things called Emmas, and these Emmas can only be found at certain places in the game. And these carry over, by the way. These carry over in New Game Plus, which is great. A lot of things carry over, which is great, which is awesome. Yeah, you kind of see where the Silent Hill 4 references are coming in now, because it's like, oh god, another Silent Hill 4 situation. But instead of we have to go back through the wormhole to our apartment, we have to juggle what items are important and what are special, what items are important for us to keep. Now in story mode, I didn't have a problem with figuring out what was important, because ultimately either I was gonna go down or the enemy was gonna go down. But it still sucks having to try to figure out what is important to you. Again, there are guides out there, but I suspect there's probably gonna be a mod maker out there that's gonna say, oh hey, it's gonna we're gonna make a mod that takes your inventory from 0 or 9 or whatever like 8, I think, to 99, so you have all these items with you, right? Because it can get frustrating. There's no inventory box like Silent Hill 4 The Room, so you have to deal with the consequences of leaving items behind, not picking up items, and so on and so forth. And then these charms, you know, if you ever play a roguelike, this isn't a roguelike, by the way, but basically these charms give you a little boost in getting through some of these levels, some of these situations. There are no bosses. Well, there are bosses in the game. And there's one boss that is, in my opinion, like, it was fun once you figure out her patterns, and you probably know which boss I'm talking about. But you know, the bosses were great. The bosses were great in their own right. Again, Souls-like bosses, yeah, I know. Souls-like, yeah, again, you can comment in the comment section whether or not this is Souls-like. The tag is, blame the Steam store that has Souls-like in the tags, damn it. So, you know, and the save system is very forgivable, but a bit too forgivable. Like, there's always a save point every like 5 to 10 minutes, which doesn't make any like not every 5 to 10 minutes. Like you go into a room, you go in 2 rooms, save. You go into 1 room, 2 rooms, do a puzzle here, for a puzzle for this room, because that puzzle leads into a puzzle here, and then save room. It's like, okay, there's too many saves here. Okay, you need to chill, right? And yeah, story mode is forgiving. Story mode is absolutely forgiving. Although, again, you know, the enemy sponging, the weapon durability issue, the strict inventory system, you can beat this game without having to get all the Emmas. But in my opinion, it's highly encouraged to find as many of them as you can. And I know someone's gonna mention it, so I'm gonna mention it here. Yes, there are ways to circumvent situations where you have to fight these creatures. I know. But sometimes players are gonna play, gamers are gonna game, and they're gonna take it on like it's a Souls-like, or like a typical Silent Hill game, and then you lose that one item, and then the second item. There's actually a stretch of time where there was a period stretch that I had in the game where I had no weapons, but the game believed that I had a steel pipe weapon on me. I'm like, bro, I don't know if that was pre-rendered. Well, oh yeah, the frame rate's an issue. The fact that the cutscenes were like 30 frames per second was okay, whatever. But the cutscenes showed Hinako having the steel pipe, and I'm like, the game, I don't have a weapon on me, you know? And it's oh my god, it's just trolling me, you know? What else can I say about the game? Oh, yes. Yes. Okay. And the reason why I say that is because I'm trying not to talk about the story, because you kind of have to play it again just to get the full picture, because the game kind of cliffhanger a few times, and it's like, oh, okay. But this game, when I say this game is Silent Hill, the psychological horror is on full display here. Let me tell you that the content warning in some instances are not good enough. I really think that I'm gonna say it. I think it needs an accessibility option to where it says, let's just give you an overview of it rather than showing you, because some of these scenes were very rough, and I was like biting my nails at some, because you could like it's just very brutal. I would say very brutal, like very brutal, but it's just like, you know, you're gonna be so fucked. You're just gonna be so fucked by what you see here, especially given the context of everything in the story and the characters and the where it's all going and heading, and the connections and so on and so forth. So if you're gonna play this game, make sure you have a strong stomach and know that it's okay if you skip it, because I'm sure there are plenty of story videos out there on YouTube that explains what's going on in the world of Silent Hill F. So yeah. So all in all, is this a great Silent Hill game? Yes, it is. Well, it is a great Silent Hill game. It's a very but I still say Silent Hill 1 will always be my favorite. Silent Hill 1 will always be my favorite. I just love how the devs at the time were the limitations of the times, and they were able to deliver a cult classic, an instant classic. Silent Hill F gets a lot of things right, but also a lot of things, well, it's just a game, but it gets its combat wrong, or it doesn't understand what, I shouldn't say that. I guess the best way to describe it is it's like Silent Hill 4. It's they get everything right but the combat, and the combat's going to be split between people who are going to appreciate it or people who are going to hate it. And then there are probably going to be people who are indifferent about it. I'm probably going to be indifferent about it, because I think that Okay, I'm just gonna kinda spoil it here a bit. Well, I don't even know if this is a spoiler, but basically when you fight these bosses, the parry and counter system isn't really used a whole lot, only on the enemies. And some of these, the timings of the counters and everything doesn't really come off effectively, so you don't know if you're supposed to really press that R2 right trigger button or not, because they give you sound cues, and the sound cues are great and all, but because of the sponging of the enemies, even on story mode, I'm gonna keep saying it, even on story mode, it was almost impossible to get through some of these situations without losing a weapon or two, because of the fact that the combat, they should have just made the combat normal. Like Silent Hill 4, make the combat normal and then give us the option to do puzzles, story, normal or hard or whatever, you know. They should have just done it like that. They should have just done it like that and just left it there. But yeah, at the end of the day, you're gonna have a lot of people who are gonna be coming after the combat aspect of Silent Hill F, and rightfully so. Rightfully so. I mean, there are other issues like the pre-rendered 3 frames and you know, and of course I guess the approach to the storytelling. But you have to play the other Silent Hill games to kind of understand why I keep emphasizing that this is a psychological horror game. Emphasis on the psychological. In fact, you know what? Let me see. And you know, and you know, again, a lot of people are going to be really, yeah, as I'm looking through here some of the comments or the reviews anyway, I keep seeing like the combat as a reference. I also see that people complain about the second half of the game. Again, I can't talk about the story because I need to finish the game on a New Game Plus just to get an idea. Yeah, it's all focused on the gameplay. Everyone's mixed on the gameplay part, but the story and the horror elements is great and all, but again, you know, then you have the contentions of like, but is it a really Silent Hill game and so on and so forth. And again, Silent Hill is a psychological horror game rather than a survival horror game. It puts the emphasis on you getting mind fucked versus does this weapon work on this boss? Does this weapon work on this boss? But yeah, Silent Hill F. What you think of it? Let me know in the comments if you're listening to this on YouTube. And once again, disclaimer, I will get to the rest of the game when we continue this next year. Same thing with Eternal Darkness. For the Eternal Darkness enthusiasts who are like, oh, what are you gonna do with Eternal Darkness? You already know. So I'm telling you right now, we're going to pick up these two again next year. Once my horror backlog calms down and I get enough of these games done. But let me know what you thought in the comments. What do you think of Silent Hill F? If you enjoyed this episode of the podcast, then leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you're listening on Spotify, then give the episode a like. And I'll catch you all in the next episode. Disclaimer, again, I will get to the rest of Silent Hill F when we get to it next year. Have a good one.